I am standing in front of the sign that's pointing to the Buchart Gardens here on Vancouver Island on a beautiful summer day. And I'm on my way to the city of Victoria, having just gotten off the ferry from Vancouver over to Swartz Bay. And my very first stop is going to be these Botanical Gardens. Over 100 years in bloom. It's a National Historic Site of Canada. So I'm going to go and bring you along. I've seen some pictures and it looks absolutely spectacular. A must-see tourist destination here in British Columbia. And I'm on my way and I'm going to bring you along. Alright, and there you have the entrance. There's a gentleman flags me in. Alright, having found a parking spot, now I am working my way into the entrance. And even the parking lot is just got beautiful flowers everywhere you look. Flowers and plants. It's a rich history to this botanical garden. I was reading up a little bit on the internet before I was coming down here, and in doing so, I believe it was a limestone quarry at one point in time. And the owner of the limestone quarry, his wife, went in and started to build all of these beautiful gardens here. We also have boat tours available. And as I come up on the entrance, you can see there's a coffee shop if you want to sit and have a nice coffee either before you go through the gardens or after coming out of the gardens. And then off to the left, they actually have seeds and gifts. So I always like to walk through the gift store. You can see they've got all types of wonderful things. I'm sure Mercedes, watching this back in Fort Myers, would just absolutely love to be here. She loves flowers. What a spacious gift shop this is. Wow. No shortage of items to buy. And over here I see some various china. And Mercedes collects all of this as well. Wow. Okay, let's go and tour the garden. Alright, with the gift shop under my belt, I find my way out to the main area here, and you see there's the information center, and they have the coffee shop, which I mentioned previously. And then over here they have some various places where you can just sit and relax. And everywhere you look, there are just beautiful, beautiful colors. And here is a large chess set. If you want to take some time out of your visit here and play some chess, you can come over here and play some chess with this extra large chess set. Looks like there's actually a chess match underway right now. Look at that. What a nice chess set this is. My dad would absolutely love seeing this. And then right over here they have a nice waterfall. Not a waterfall, a wheel, if you will. Look at that. Definitely worth a visit, and I haven't even gotten into the main gardens yet. All right, I made my way into the actual gardens, and one of the biggest challenges I think that I'm going to have as I go through here is whether or not I have enough memory card to record all of this. It is really a sight to behold. I was told that I need to come here, and that was no exaggeration at all. Look at this. I know that I know Angela, who watches my videos, is going to be probably watching this video time and time again. Look at this. Really is a sight to behold for sure. Everywhere you look, there's an abundance of beauty. Look at this view right here. It's actually going to be a nice place to stop and take a picture. Alright, I am on the steps that are going to go up to the sunken garden, one of several gardens here that I'm going to share with you today as I go through the botanical gardens here. And it really is something. Look at how beautiful that is. This is probably one of the nicer parks that I've actually been to in recent memory, and I've been to some really nice parks. So let's go see the sunken garden here at Buchart Gardens. There's the sunken garden. I believe there's the Mediterranean garden. Wow, look at this. Absolutely jaw-dropping beautiful. Look at that. As I read a little bit about this garden, it used to be a limestone quarry, and in 1908 the limestone was depleted, and Mrs. Buchart decided to make this a sunken garden. Look at how beautiful that is. And then just up here there's a small house. Alright, I'm finding my way down into the actual garden itself. And to think that at one time this was just filled with all types of noise of people excavating limestone. And look at it now. Truly a sight to behold. This definitely has to be one of the more beautiful places on earth. You see all the folks coming down the steps. Without question, this has to be one of the more beautiful places on earth. You are looking at the Ross Fountain Lookout. This smaller quarry was a source of limestone in the 1860s. It was here that Ian Ross, grandson of Mr. and Mrs. Buchart, devised his spectacular fountain with the assistance of his plumber, Adrian Butler, and his electrician, Vic Dawson. The Ross Fountain commemorated the 60th anniversary of the Buchart Gardens when it was installed in 1964. Look at that. That is really something to watch. And here's a view of the fountain from the other side. And it comes up and it does different, it's choreographed. Look at that. I don't know if I've ever seen a more beautiful fountain than that. I made my way up to the carousel, and this was one of the items on the map as I was walking in that I was interested in seeing. It's an old-fashioned carousel, and what's interesting about this, it was only about a week ago that a friend of mine was in Colorado, and he told me that he went out of his way to see a carousel. So this is called the Rose Carousel. You can see the different folks going along. I think if I'd get on the carousel to ride, I'd probably be best suited to ride a monkey. Look at that. Wow. Just wonderful. Alright, so on with the tour. Interestingly enough, I've been in British Columbia now for several days, and these are the first totem poles that I've seen since I've been here. And they are quite impressive, to say the very least. So I give you a view from the bottom looking up. People have always told me that I'm at the bottom of the totem pole. This is a raven, beaver with grouse, otter with pups, and clam and frog on here. So there at the bottom, I think you have the, let's see, at the bottom you have the frog. That's right. Well, you can figure it out. Continuing along, I found my way to an area, it says the Organ Pavilion, and I don't know if this is the building or not, but one would certainly think so. So just out beyond this area where I'm located is an outdoor stage, and they have concerts here. As a matter of fact, there's a concert this evening, and if I take a left right here, it's going to take me to both the Japanese garden and the Rose Garden, and all over there in the distance you can see the pavilion, which is right there. The most interesting of trees that you can see right here on the lawn, just behind the, or in front of the pavilion, I should say. Look at that. And here's another interesting tree. Look at that. One can only wonder if they decorate these for Christmas. I would imagine that they would. You can see everywhere you look there's flowers. Needless to say, it would appear that I made my way to the Japanese garden, and this fountain would give me that impression. So we're going to let's give you a nice view of the fountain as I walk around to the entrance of the Japanese garden. It would appear that I made my way to the Japanese garden, as you can see with this dragon fountain here, and just to my left would be the the pathway that would take me down to what I'm sure is another gorgeous garden. I think I'm running out of adjectives to describe this park that I found, or this garden rather. It really is something to see, as the young lady does a selfie. Everybody's doing selfies, and I think that I embarrassed her. So she's going to be a YouTube celebrity, perhaps. Here's a large, massive tree, would appear to be a redwood. It's a coast redwood right there.
Another workout.
And then I think just around this corner here, it's going to take me down into the garden. And sure enough, here you got to give credit where credit is due. YouTube has provided such a wonderful opportunity for individuals like myself to travel the world and share it with people that would otherwise never have a chance to see such amazing things as this. Alright, as you may very well guess, I made my way down to the rose garden. And every time I see a rose garden, I can't help but to think of a lovely woman that I spent the better part of a week with in New Zealand called Fenella. And Fenella was a elderly lady, well into her 80s, and she had a rose garden. It was her pride and joy. And whenever I see a rose garden such as this, I can't help but to think about that time that I spent with Fenella down in New Zealand.
I mean, it doesn't make the trip sad. It's just sad. It makes
You go through this beautiful trellis here. Look at this. What a sight to behold.
We went up there, there ain't nothing up there.
Actually, I saw a sign for the Japanese garden, and I don't think that I've come across the Japanese garden yet, despite the fact that I saw that fountain. So we'll see if we can't find that as well. And I believe I still need to see the Mediterranean garden and the Italian garden. This is the Fountain of the Three Sturgeons, and you are looking at the Fountain of the Three Sturgeons, and just off to the left is the large expansive lawn that leads over to the Buchart home over here. And if I'm not mistaken, behind me perhaps, this is the entrance to the Japanese garden. So we'll take a walk down the path here. I've noticed that the gardens here are dog friendly. A lot of people walking about on this nice summer day with their little dog. And this is the Japanese garden, the first of Jenny Buchart's former gardens. The Japanese garden was started in 1906. The magnificent purple beech on each side of the gate and the Japanese maples at the head of the stone stairs down into the garden are the oldest non-native trees in the Buchart Gardens. Look at this. Boy, she did a wonderful job with these gardens. You can hear the water running through this small waterfall. In case, like myself, you were wondering, you know, what kind of estate would this be without having its own little cove? Wonder no more. You're looking at the Buchart Cove right here. And if you wanted to take a nice cruise, they offer boat tours. And it is just beautiful. Buchart Cove Lookout. Where the present wharf now stands, Mr. Buchart built a boathouse for his motor yacht, Nuya. Many dignitaries entertained by the Bucharts enjoyed a cruise on the local waters of the Saanich Inlet and the Gulf Islands. I made my way back into the Japanese garden after going and looking at the Cove Lookout. Not as many flowers in the Japanese garden. A lot of water, a lot of sculptured trees such as you see here. You see a lot of water lilies. Just some beautiful trees. You see this tree right here. Alright, I believe what is still needed to be seen is the Mediterranean garden and the Italian garden. My friend Edit and Amadeo, I should say my friends Edit and Amadeo, probably wouldn't forgive me if I finished this tour without seeing the Italian garden. They live in Genoa, Italy. And I know Edit watches a lot of my videos. Not too sure about Amadeo. He's probably too busy watching football, as they call it. Soccer, as we call it. No shortage of green as you walk through the Buchart property. Coming up out of the Japanese garden, you come across this view here. And there's a fountain with several frogs that are streaming water into the pond here. Simply could not have asked for a nicer day to be visiting Buchart Gardens. You are looking at the entrance to the Italian garden, and the Italian garden is the most formal of Mrs. Buchart's gardens. Created in 1926 on the site of the family tennis court, the well-known architect Samuel McClure worked from Mr. Buchart's ideas to create the garden. So let's go on in and see the most formal of gardens, the Italian garden here at Buchart Gardens, and we'll dedicate this segment of the video to Amadeo over in Genoa, Italy. Look at that view. Now, if this video doesn't get Amadeo off the sofa watching football, you know, I don't know what will. Look at all of those flowers. And the smell in here is just really something else. And you have to get some gelato, of course. What would an Italian garden be without some Italian gelato at the gelateria? Look at that. It would appear that I've made it to the end or back to the beginning, depending on how you look at it, of the Buchart Gardens here in just outside of Victoria, British Columbia. And you can see this sculpture of this boar. I believe it's actually a replica of a boar that you would see in Florence, Italy. And this would be the Buchart home, I would believe, where I'm sure they had many wonderful, wonderful times together here. So I hope you enjoyed this walkthrough of the Buchart Gardens here, just outside of Victoria on Vancouver Island in beautiful British Columbia. And if you're ever out in this part of the world, don't even think twice about coming to a visit to this beautiful spot on Earth.